Whispers in the midnight air, ghostly fingers in my hair, shadows dancing by my bed, echoes of the things they once said.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the official pilot episode, first episode of Ghost Girls, a paranormal podcast. Tell us about it, Nicole.
This podcast right here.
This one?
It's for the ghost curious.
That's absolutely true.
It's for the deeply haunted. It's for the believers. It's for the non-believers. It's for anyone who's ever had a what the heck moment.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on. My name's Nicole.
And I'm Leah.
And together we are just a paranormal girls.
That's right.
Who are going to be talking about paranormally extreme topics.
That's right.
With a bunch of guests and experts of the field. And we're really happy that you're here.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. Sorry about that. I just had coffee out of this ghost mug.
Yeah, look at our ghost mugs.
And I have lipstick all over it. So this was a...
Well, if you're an audio listener and not visual, the mugs look like ghosts.
They're shaped like ghosts. I forgot most people listen to podcasts.
But they're really cute, and we're happy you're here.
We're happy you're here. First of all, a little backstory. Nicole and I are very good friends.
Yeah.
Dare I say best.
Yeah, the BFF
The
type.
BFF territory. It's not just for teenagers. Adults can be besties.
Yeah.
And we have this shared mutual interest and fascination with all things spooky, the paranormal, the unexplainable moments. Even if you're not a believer, and I'm a 50-50 split. 50% of me is like, this is crazy, and I'm a skeptic, and the other 50% of me is like, ooh, it's not just us here. There are kind of these unexplainable moments that seem beyond our comprehension that are just, spine chilling. Even if you're not a believer, I think that ghost stories are just inherently really entertaining and fascinating. Like, who doesn't love a good ghost story, right?
Absolutely. And Leah and I have been talking about it. We're both very curious people inherently.
We are.
And I think we're curious about everything, and so much of that curiosity extends to the unexplainable, that is so much of what is paranormal. And as we've been thinking about this, it's like we're not pros at paranormal by any means.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're not watching horror movies all the time. Like, I'm open to it, love them, but like, we're just curious girls, and we love hearing people's weird, kooky stories. And we truly do think that ghost stories can be for everyone. Like, you don't have to be a believer.
Yeah.
You could just be someone who likes hearing like a weird experience that someone had, or maybe someone's cool job that is just in a very unique industry. And
exactly.
I think we're so passionate about people and stories and spirits, and we're really just trying to have these conversations about spirits and death and ghosts, because we are just two girls who are trying to figure out our lives.
Yeah, by talking more about death.
Absolutely.
And the unknown. And like you said, we're just naturally curious people. We're not experts in this field by any means, but we're just naturally curious, inquisitive people. We're like kind of the annoying friend that asks you a bunch of questions.
That's so our vibe.
That's
we're
our
like,
vibe.
Wait, tell me more.
Yeah. And so I was like, why don't we just ask people questions on a podcast?
Absolutely. And we're just so excited. And I guess we'll tell you a little bit about ourselves.
Yeah.
Leah, you get us rolling.
I'll kick it off. My name is Leah Richardson. I am a stripper. No, I'm sorry. And there's nothing wrong with that. I wish I had that.
I love that.
Wish I had that level of coordination.
Absolutely. Sex workers are amazing.
They are amazing. I am a stand-up comedian. I work in digital marketing, classic millennial job title. And occasionally I still model when they let me.
You're so beautiful.
Well, you're very sweet. Now it's like mom ads, but I'm cool with that. And yeah, tell us about yourself, lovely Nicole.
Thanks, Leah.
We're new to this.
we're new to this, but what's not new? Our friendship.
Our friendship's not new.
My name is Nicole Leth, and I am an artist, a writer. I've been doing this full time for about 15 years. I utilize a lot of public art in my art practice. For many years, I was sharing anonymous pieces of writing on billboards, flown across skies with airplanes. Now I'm doing a lot of visual art, integrating my writing into unexpected visual spaces. I just love making art, and so much of my art practice is fueled by just being a witness to the real human condition and having these weird, quirky experiences and conversations with people. So I was, super excited when Leah invited me to be the co-host for this opportunity, because we're just gonna be witnessing a lot of different people and different stories here.
And these are the things we talk about anyway in our friendship. And
Yeah.
Nicole doesn't even live here. But I couldn't picture doing this co-host. I couldn't picture hosting this with anyone else. So we're gonna bat shoot it when she's in town.
Absolutely. Yeah. I live in the beautiful town of Asheville, North Carolina. I'm new there. I did live in LA, which is, I guess we'll get into kind of Leah and I's friendship.
Yeah.
Leah, where did we meet?
We met in Tulum, Mexico.
As we've been interviewing people, inherently people are like, how do you guys know each other?
Right.
And we're like, we were drunk in Tulum.
We were drunk in Tulum on, at a tequila bar. Actually,
Yes.
It was raining, and so we shuffled into a tequila bar to find cover and dryness.
Absolutely.
And,
Set the scene. It was like, we're on the strip in Tulum. Leah, it's her 30th birthday.
It's my 30th
She's there with
birthday.
her beautiful husband, Sean.
No.
Or fiance.
Oh, I guess he was my fiance then.
Fiance.
Yeah.
And I was in Tulum for my honeymoon with my beautiful new husband, Luke.
Aww.
And it's midnight on a Friday.
Yeah.
We are stumbling around Tulum. A torrential downpour occurs.
So much rain.
We duck into this like little tequila bar.
Yep.
We look at each other across the bar. We're the only two couples in there. And then we just gravitate
towards each other. And I liked them immediately. I could tell they were unique, fun artists with like a good sense of humor. You could make dark jokes with them. Nicole has platinum blonde hair, and for some reason I thought it was natural. And I was like, is that your natural hair color? And she went, hell no.
Hell no.
And just the way she answered it made me happy. And then what happened is we didn't even exchange info. Like we had this great night, and then we didn't think to like exchange why can I talk?
Instagram.
Exchange Instagram handles. We didn't think to exchange phone numbers, nothing, no emails. But yeah, we didn't exchange info. And then we just kept running into each other. Like we saw you, I think 3 or 4 more times, like at a fruit truck on the side of the road and passing like here or there. And every time I was like, fuck, I should be why am I not asking for their info? Those people are so cool. And then at the airport, as we were both leaving to go back home, we saw, and I'm like, okay, it's a sign. I need to get their numbers.
Yeah, we were like seconds away from getting on our flight. We turn around, Leah and Sean are there, and we're, and then we all lock eyes and we're like, okay, we have to be friends now. We have to be friends. I feel like the universe was putting us together.
Kismet. Yeah. And then you were in Kansas City, and you ended up moving to LA for a few years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we were long distance friends, and then me and Luke moved to LA, and we got to be LA friends and had so many fun times.
We got to solidify the friendship further, and
absolutely,
so it can survive the distance again.
And now we're long distance again, but honestly, I feel closer than ever.
Me too. Absolutely. So that's a little bit about us, who we are, how we met, why we're doing this.
Absolutely. And I think the intention of this pilot episode is just, we just want to introduce ourselves, because we want to create this cozy space where maybe you can just feel like you're hanging out with us and learning about people. And, this season is just going to be us, interviewing people, talking about ghosts, talking about weird experiences, just responding to some of these very interesting and interesting topics. And that's kind of the oversight. And so this pilot here today, we wanted to just tell you guys about us and our relationship with the paranormal, because we will be, hosting and like guiding this season. So, just wanting to feel connected to us and explain why we're interested. And we will even be sharing some of our own spooky stories.
Yeah. We'll start with some of our own, and this podcast series will mostly be interviewing other people, but we'll kick it off with a few of our own stories. And really quick, this is my beautiful dog, Betsy, who's joining us today. Betsy, do you have anything to say?
I'm wearing my beautiful dress.
Oh. It's amazing, right?
She's wearing a cool dark dress.
Yep. Very Tim Burton black lacy goth girl dress on today. Anyway, just wanted to give her a quick little shout out. Her breath smells like buttholes, and she's the light of my life. But yeah, let's kick it off. Maybe do you want to start us off with one of your spooky encounters?
Absolutely. Before we even get to the stories, like lightly just touching on our relationship with the paranormal before I'll briefly touch on mine. And then I have a few light stories and I have a few dark stories. So I'm going to start with my light stories and then Leah will share some of hers and then maybe we'll get into some of the heavier stuff deeper into the episode.
I love that.
But just for context, like Leah and I were talking this morning, just kind of about our POV of the paranormal. And I think we already touched on that we're both very open and curious people. So in a lot of ways, like this is very fascinating to us. But personally, like I grew up going to Catholic school. I was raised in the church. And it was never something that I like fully believed. I think I was just kind of forced into it. So I think that just like really, ingrained me with a sense of skepticism, always just having kind of alerts for if someone was trying to tell you something with the intention of they wanted you to do something for them. And so I come into a lot of these paranormal experiences with just a little bit of skepticism. But Leah and I were talking about how we really trust people, like if we're talking to a friend and they have had like an experience that feels unreal, like we really hear them and we really tune into when someone's being truthful.
Yeah.
And so I think that just the context is important as we kind of just like share some of these stories, venture into these conversations with others, is like we have a little bit of skepticism, but also we're people who have been very open in life and we've had all these like really intense experiences. And I almost feel like these intense experiences, they give you this amazing toolkit to be able to really see and connect to people when they're speaking from a place of truth.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like you can kind of tell when someone maybe is like embellishing a bit or just like telling just a good story that maybe isn't necessarily rooted in their truth. And then you can kind of tell when it's a more authentic, genuine experience for someone. I feel like we're pretty good at sniffing that out.
Yeah, we're good and we're even getting better.
We're getting even better. At least knowing if it's like a genuine experience for them, whether,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I love it. Well, do you want to kick us off with like a more lighthearted one, and then we'll ease into the heavier ones?
I'll get into some of my silly ones.
Yeah.
This is, more, let's consider it's a vignette of just like these little stories. So what I need you guys to know is I went to art school for college and, you meet so many characters there, and I was dating this guy. He's probably the worst boyfriend I've ever had in my life. Not a very good guy. I don't think there's any way he's listening to this right now, but I'm just not going to use his name. Anyway, he was obsessed with ghosts and in a lot of ways was a ghost hunter. And so we dated for years, I would say maybe 3 to 4 years on and off at some points, as so many relationships in college are. One of my big introductions to, this paranormal realm was kind of getting drug along with my my shitty art boyfriend, because this thing we would do is we would go to haunted hotels. We were obsessed with the show Ghost Adventures.
Oh yeah,
Zach Bagans was God. Like we were always just like,
it's fun. That's a fun chapter you had.
It's a fun chapter.
Ghost hotels.
Yeah, ghost hotels.
I love it.
So we would we go to these ghost hotels, and he would download the ghost hunting apps where you would the thing, like the almost like a virtual spirit box, they can like communicate with it through EVP and stuff. I don't know how real those things are, especially when it's on an app. Even we were talking to Ghost Inspector Greg the other day and he's like, I don't know about these apps, but there's like a real deal. Anyway, my art boyfriend had the app.
Yeah. And
so we'd get our ghost hunting gear. One of the main places we went was this town in Arkansas called Eureka Springs. We had seen this hotel. It's called the Crescent Hotel. Or maybe it's just called the Crescent. Anyway, it's called the Crescent. It was a place they went on ghost adventures. And it is this crazy, 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 like old hotel. And it's on the top of this hill. It's just like so austere, like looming. You're driving up. It's a weird vibe.
Yeah.
And it's famous because it used to be a cancer hospital.
Oh.
I think it was like 100 years ago or so. Back in the day, it was a cancer hospital. But the thing about it wasn't a normal cancer hospital. It was a fake cancer hospital.
What?
There was this phony doctor. Can't remember his name. Oh my God. Why have we heard so many stories about phony doctors? Like, here's another one. Do we need another? Anyway. this phony doctor, I think he just wanted attention. So he just like started telling people he had the cure to cancer, and he opened up this cancer hospital in this little mountain town in Arkansas. He wasn't curing anyone. He was just like, I think he just had some experimental things. I think he was just kind of like testing on people. And the point is, people with cancer were going there and they were dying because he didn't have the cure to cancer. And it was all a facade.
Because he wasn't a doctor.
Because he wasn't a doctor. Maybe he had like some weird doctor. I don't even know if he was a real doctor. Probably not. Let's be real.
Right.
But he just wanted, he wanted the attention, but he would do this crazy thing. So, inside the hospital, people were dying, like a lot of them. But he wanted the town to think that he was really successful. So he would hire actors to sit out on the porches surrounding the hospital, and he would hire them to sit there and like happily rock in the rocking chairs and smile and be like wandering around, because he wanted people to be like witnessing these cancer patients that were cured. It was like this whole crazy story. You should definitely like research it. Obviously, this was like nearly a decade ago in my life, so I'm probably not getting all the details right, but I remember him hiring the actors because that deeply disturbed me. So me and the art boyfriend, we go there, and there's this one specific room that is the most haunted room in the hotel. I can't remember. It's like room 217. I'm making that up, but it's like, if you go there, you try to get this room, because like that's the room where like there's a specific ghost.
Wow.
That haunts you. And we go there, we go into the room, and there's all this dark stuff you can do while at the hotel. You can do the ghost tour. They take you down to the morgue. Like you can stand in the morgue. Of course we're doing all of that because he wants to, this is his calling. He's a ghost boy. And the lore of the room that we were standing in is like this 6-foot tall cowboy would appear. And I remember hearing the lore, and, I remember knowing that was gonna, that was an experience that people had. I'm a little skeptic. I'm like, that's not gonna happen. Like, this hotel is creepy. The history is creepy. I don't think I'm gonna see a fucking cowboy. Leah.
Yeehaw.
Leah. I saw the fucking cowboy.
You saw the cowboy.
And I know that I saw him. I'll set the scene. Spend the day in this hotel. It's our first night sleeping there. I'm aware that like the story about the cowboy, I'm positive I'm not going to see him. I don't fully believe in it. I think it's just like, I'm a skeptic, kind of. And then we're falling asleep, and I'm filled with this restless, hot, itchy feeling that I had never felt before. Whew. Like restless. My boyfriend is sleeping soundly. And I'm like, I'm twitching, I'm itching. I feel so uncomfortable. I feel like I'm being watched.
Ooh.
And my brain starts filling with feels like someone else's thoughts or voice has totally taken over my brain. And I'd never felt anything like that before, but it was like this man's voice filling my brain. And I remember at that point, being too scared to open my eyes because I was positive that there was a presence around me. And I'm kind of a skeptic. I've never felt anything like this. Like this is a very new and unique feeling. And then, I'm closing my eyes. I don't want to look. I feel scared. And then eventually I'm talking myself up. I'm like, okay, just look around the room. It's probably going to be fine. I open my eyes, and it's dark, and we're in this old-timey room, and there's the cowboy's at the fucking end of the bed in his hat.
He's at the foot of the bed?
He's at the foot of the bed looking at me, and I see it clear as day. He is there. He is there.
Like a solid being.
A solid being.
Wow.
Like a shadowy figure. Like I can't see his face or anything.
Right. But still, he's there.
And that was one of the first times I saw a form that was like that. And I remember waking my boyfriend up. I'm like, hey, the cowboy is here. And of course we flip on the lights, just in the movies. You flip on the lights, the cowboy's not there. And I think my boyfriend was actually kind of pissed at me that I got to see the cowboy. And I was the lesser believers of the two of us.
Wow.
But yeah, so that was kind of one of the more silly, lighthearted experiences I had with a ghost. And that was also one of the first times that itchy, that restless, that deeply anxious, uncomfortable feeling that I felt in my body. That was the first time I felt it. And I actually went on multiple times since then.
Oh.
Always when I'm in hotels. I probably 2 or 3 other times I have had that experience.
With the cowboy or just with another
Not
ghost?
cowboy, but rather that body feeling.
Oh, the itchy.
That itchy,
anxious.
I'm being watched, and more so, feels feels like something is like coming into your brain and embedding, like they're getting into your brain and like you hear someone else's thoughts or narrative.
Wow.
I ended up like years later, I was like in Morocco again, and it's always in these very old buildings.
Wow.
Me and my husband at the time, we're in Morocco again, just like beautiful hotel in Morocco. It was our first night there. I'm going to bed. I feel that itchy restlessness feeling, and all of a sudden my brain is just taken over by like someone else's dialogue, someone else's thoughts, and it scared me because that one was like probably the darkest. Like it was just saying like extremely dark things. It was really scaring me, and I actually was so scared. I felt hands on me. My husband was sleeping soundly, and that I was so scared that I actually like woke up, turned the light on, and I was like, I can't sleep in this room. I went up onto the roof of the hotel, and I had to sleep on the roof of the hotel for our entire time
You
in
had
Morocco.
to sleep on the roof of the hotel
It's the only place
in Morocco
Yes.
the whole time?
We brought the mattress to the roof.
You carried the mattress up there?
Yeah, thankfully it was like easily attached to our room. Like there was like this little area where you could go to the roof and have like your own little balcony situation. So like thankfully it was accessible from our room.
Oh my gosh.
But it was so bad that I was like,
you couldn't be in your room, and it was like a darker presence?
oh, it was like, again, I don't know if I fully believe in demons and angels and stuff, like,
Right.
but it was probably the most like dark energy I've ever felt in my life. Like the
Wow.
things like
to the point where you went to the roof.
the point that it was in the roof. And like, I love hanging at a hotel. I love going to the pool. I could not be in this hotel
Wow.
within the walls of it without getting like that weird invasiveness in my brain, like that voice. Anytime I was within the hotel, it would totally go into my head. I'd feel that restlessness. I'd feel hands on me.
Ooh.
I feel like it sounds so crazy,
Nah,
but I like, anyway,
I believe you.
that happened. I had to sleep on the roof for like 7 days in Morocco.
Were you cold or was it warm?
It was thankfully like fall and beautiful and
Oh,
like
good.
not cold.
Okay, good.
But I will
Oh, wow.
I will
That's
never forget
crazy.
those. And to this day, like if I'm in a very old hotel or if I'm in a very old thing, I will sometimes feel that. It's not frequent. I would say like maybe once every other year.
Wow.
It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, I'm becoming familiar. I'm like, I think that this structure is very old, and I think that there's some type of spiritual entity here, like communicating with me in some way. And
Wow.
you
And-
know,
and you get the same physical sensation
that
every
same
time.
restlessness, that almost body
Wow.
anxiety, and then like that weird feeling of someone else in your brain with you.
Holy shit. I love someone else in your brain with you. That's so scary. I like how these are your lighthearted ones. I'm like, did you need a lot of therapy?
I know.
after
I
this?
can't believe
I'm just teasing, but just like,
How
whoa.
are these my lighthearted ones?
Because I'd be like still recovering, I think.
Yeah. I guess they're not that lighthearted. They're kind of silly now because like sleeping on the roof,
I
kind
mean,
of extreme. But like there was no other option for me. I was
yeah,
like,
that's how strongly you felt
yeah, man.
that darkness in there.
Yes.
And your body's telling you it's not safe. Wow. You're like, it's safer to be outside exposed on the roof than
Yes.
in this room. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well,
Yes. So those are some of my like, I don't know. I guess they're not silly at all, but like kind of maybe my ghost hunting haunted hotel experiences.
yeah. I mean, it is funny that it was a cowboy. Like that is just funny.
The cowboy, yeah, and then just like being dating this crappy guy, and he wants to bring me to like haunted hotels, and me just being like, okay.
That's such a classic like early 20s thing when you're just figuring
Yeah.
out like, oh, I dated this ghost hunter. We stayed in haunted hotels.
know.
Like I love it.
I know.
Or there's probably people maybe listening in their 50s are like, I still do that.
Yeah.
But no, that's awesome.
If you're in
That's-
your 50s and you're dating a ghost hunter, I'm obsessed with you.
I mean, good for you,
and
honestly.
come on the podcast.
Please come on and tell us all the stories.
Absolutely. Okay, Leah, I want to hear some of yours.
So I don't have very many like interesting things to share, but I just love these stories and I like hearing about them. But definitely had like a few moments that felt eerie, unexplainable, spooky. But yeah, like I was telling Nicole, I don't know if ghosts are that into me, to be honest. And I'm a sensitive being, but like I kind of learned to put up an energetic barrier early on. And I was thinking about the root of that, like where that came from. I wasn't going to share this, but I just thought of it. When I was a kid, when you're a kid, you're more susceptible to things. You scare more easily. You get spooked more easily as a kid because, you're feeling and experiencing everything for the first time.
Yeah.
My friend's older sister would taunt us with scary stories all the time about like shadow people and how they come and they inhabit your body and they do all these things and they come out at night. And whenever you're in the dark, that you have to leave one light on or the shadow man will get you.
Why is that such like a friend's older sister?
Such a friend's older sister thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, she would always make up shit. I mean, she was a kid too, but she was like maybe 4 years older than us. And like, oh, flying squirrels will fly and attack you. I'm like, there aren't even flying squirrels in Oregon. You know,
That's so relatable. I feel like everyone knows someone like that
right?
when they're a kid.
And it really got in my head at one point where like I wasn't sleeping, like I was having night terrors, like it really affected me. And my dad, it really pissed him off that this other kid like told me this bullshit and got in my head or whatever. And like, it like really made him mad that he took me out for a nighttime drive. I think I was like 8 and he took me out on a nighttime drive and he was like pretending to drive over all the shadow people. Like he pretended to kill them all. Larry. I'm like, it kind of almost like, it like warms my heart now that like he went to this like length to show me, like, he's like, bam, killed another one. Bam, you see that, Leah? They're gone. And by the way, they're not real, but bam, but I'm killing them. Bam. And he was just pretending to run them over. And he's like, you never have to worry about the shadow people ever again because I just killed all of them. And then he told me like, but you know what will bring them back? Fear. Don't feed the fear. And he's like, the moment you indulge your fear is when you're, you know, when you're vulnerable and when you're susceptible to it. So like he kind of ingrained that in me. So whenever I've had a moment where I'm getting scared or I feel spooked, I'm just like, oh, I'm not scared. Like, I'm not going to feed the fear. Like, you can't hurt me, you know? And so I wonder if that, because I feel like when you're at your most raw and vulnerable is when you're more susceptible to moments like that. I don't know. Or some people are just a little more tapped in. Like, you're probably just a little more tapped in than I am. But yeah, for the most part, ghosts avoid me. And I wonder if that's why, because my dad killed all those shadow people.
That's like so like Tony Robbins of him, like motivational speaker, like bam,
bam, there's another one dead. Bam, they're not gonna get you.
Don't let fear into your existence.
Don't let fear in.
I've not heard that story before, and I love that I got to hear it for the first time right here.
Thanks. Well, I like literally just remembered it today.
Fantastic.
But yeah, shout out to Larry. The moments that I've had, they're not all that interesting, but they're, you know, they definitely sent a chill up my spine. Like my husband and I bought a house in the mountains during the pandemic, a little mountain town, a few hours outside of LA, you know, because we can actually afford something there.
And
So,
their house up there is beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it. Good vibe.
We got a cute little cabin, and you know, I was there alone. My husband was out of town, and I was just had one of those days where I was hyper fixated on reorganizing the kitchen, and I spent hours doing it during the daylight. So I had none of the lights were on. I was just working off of the sunlight, and then the sun was starting to go down. It was getting darker, and I was in the middle of organizing the silverware drawer, and I literally had the thought, oh, it's getting too dark for me to see. I should turn a light on because the sun's going down. And we have the dimmer lights with like 6 different settings, and right in that moment, the dimmer light that was like directly above where I was working, shining down on this drawer, like the moment I thought, oh, I should put a light on, it just shot up. The dimmer light just shot up to the full full brightness.
Like it just shoots up
but
on its
just
own.
that one light where I was working. And like, I swear to God, it could just be a weird glitch. I don't know, but I was like, that's weird. I didn't press anything. No one was home. I was completely alone. My dog was there, and I kind of looked over at her to see if she was freaked out because, you know, when she was younger, she would just randomly bark at like nothing or a corner, and I'd be like, oh, she could probably see a ghost. I would like joke about that. And the fact that she seemed calm and chill, I was like, well, maybe it's a friendly entity.
What, did you have a good vibe about it? Like, did it feel
that
kind of
house
friendly?
has such good vibes. It's a really special home. Even the woman that sold it to us said like, this is a very happy home. And she was married there, lived there for over 35 years, raised their son there. She was a widow. She had been alone for 5 or 6 years and just realized like, I'm too lonely here, too many memories. I'm going to go retire to Vermont with my sister. But she really wanted to sell the house to like a new family, a new couple, kind of starting at the beginning of, you know. And so I don't know if her husband died in that house, but like a part of me, like when we bought the house, I was like, well, surely, I literally thought, well, surely his ghost will follow her because that's the love of his life. But
that's so true.
But if he ever checks in on the house, it's always felt like a warm, helpful presence.
I feel like also that experience is just so like fatherly. Like
it felt
here, let me turn the light on for you.
Yeah, it did feel like that. It could have just been a weird thing that happened, but it was like strange that it was right where I needed it, right when I thought about needing to turn a light on.
That's incredible.
So that's one. I don't have that many, but like, I mean, should we alternate or should I tell another?
I want to keep hearing yours. Okay. Leah, I love Leah's stories.
I love Nicole's stories. And then the next one is more of like a guardian angel type.
Oh, I'm so excited about this because we were, you know, kind of thinking about the different encounters or like how kind of, you know, like different manifestations of spirits, of paranormal. And I feel like one that that people forget is like this guardian angel trope, or like this experience of something happening at the right time. And so I'm very excited to hear the story.
Yeah, and this was before I even really knew about the concept of divine intervention. And so I was 18 and I was living on my own for the first time in a studio apartment in Portland, Oregon. I'm from a small town in Oregon, but I moved to the big city of Portland.
Cool girl.
A whole hour away from my parents. Big deal. And I was going to beauty school at the time to become a hairstylist, and I was modeling on the side. I didn't have a car, so I got everywhere by public transit, the trolley, the bus, the train there, which is called the Max line. This was before Uber or Lyft. Like once in a while I'd call like a taxi cab, but there was no Uber or Lyft. And so I would just walk a lot of places and take the train and the bus. And I had a really early call time. It was a Saturday morning. It was like a 6 a.m. call time.
Wow.
To go be a hair model at this like trade show at the convention center.
On a Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, well, I got to leave at 5, get on the train at 5:30 to get to the convention center by 6. And I always went places during the day when there's like other people out. And like, I was a very naive, small town 18-year-old living on her own for the first time. So it didn't occur to me that like, oh, the creeps come out at night. So I just leave my apartment. It's like pitch black outside. It's 5 a.m. This is also how dumb and young I was. I didn't think, like now, if I booked a job like this, I would know you put the high heels in your bag and you wear your sneakers. I was just click clacking in my heels down the sidewalk at 5 a.m.
Oh my God.
So I'm not even in good shoes to like escape something.
And how long of a walk is it?
I can't remember, but it was like a good 20 minutes.
That's such a long walk.
Yeah, it was several blocks.
Heels at 5 a.m.
Yeah, and I was like, because I knew that the nearest train station was in Chinatown.
Right.
And so I was walking several blocks down Burnside in my heels, and Burnside's like a long hill in Portland.
A hill.
I was going downhill in my heels.
Oh my gosh.
And this guy starts following me, like trailing me, like pretty close behind me. And he starts saying really vulgar things. He's like describing my body parts, what he wants to do to me.
Oh my God.
And I was really scared, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
And I called my parents, and by some miracle they answered. And there really wasn't much they could do. They're an hour away. Like he's right behind me. But I called them almost to just be like, I explained very quietly under my breath what was happening. This guy's following me. He's saying these things. I don't feel safe. And I was like, if anything happens to me, this is what happens. And
right.
And they stayed on the phone with me until I got to my trains. And they're like, well, by the time you get to the train stop, hopefully there's other people. But again, it's like a Saturday morning at 5:30 a.m.
And how long was he following you?
The whole time, pretty
so,
much.
There's a whole 20 minutes.
Pretty much the whole 20 minutes.
So messed up. Like that's so intense.
It was really intense.
Like menacing. Like that's like, oh my God.
And he had very sinister, dark energy. Like maybe it was mental illness as well, but it just felt really dark.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, something's gonna happen to me that I'm not prepared for. And so I get to the train station in Chinatown, and I'm like so relieved to be there. I'm desperately looking around the platform for other early morning commuters, and there's no one. It's just me and this guy.
Oh my God.
And he's getting closer to me, and he's getting closer to me, and he's still talking to me, and he's like inching his way closer. And then all of a sudden, like this big, tall man who I'm assuming was unhoused emerges, and he starts screaming at the guy who's harassing me. And the only thing he said was, her mama don't want her talking to you. Her mama don't want her talking to you. And he's screaming, and he scares this guy off.
And he appears out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. And then he's just standing there, and then he waits with me until the train comes, and he waits until I get on the train. And I felt like he was protecting me.
Yeah.
I'm like getting emotional. And then after he scared this guy off, he quickly kind of melted into some mannerisms that reminded me a lot of my uncle, who was schizophrenic, who has since passed. And I was like, oh, this guy's like severely mentally ill. Like he goes to muttering to himself under his breath. Like you could just tell he wasn't like fully well.
Yeah.
But he was able to like pull himself out of it long enough to like really have my back. And I get on the train, and then I turn around because I really want to thank him. And I think he's going to still be standing there. It was like a split second, and he's just gone.
He's gone.
And then the train doors closed, but the train doesn't take off right away. So I'm trailing up and down the cart, like trying to find him. I'm like, oh, did he go left? Did he go right? Trying to like find where he went. I'm like, where'd he go? I wanted to say thank you.
You couldn't see him.
And I couldn't find him. And, you know, it could have been that he's just that fast and he just walked away that quickly. But like, whenever I've told people this story, my mom included, they're just like, and my mom's not even really that spiritual, I would say, but she was like, oh, that's it. That was an angel. Like that.
She just immediately like said
Yeah.
that.
And a handful of people, anyone I've told the story to, was like, oh, that's divine intervention. Oh, like and who knows? Like it was an angel manifested into this being long enough to help you and, you know, whatever. And there is a part of me that really felt that. I mean, I could have just been very lucky and it was a real person who just walked away fast.
Yeah.
But I was just like, where did he go? And I went back. Actually, I didn't tell you this. I went back several times to that area to try to find him because I was like, oh, he's like probably homeless on the street. I want to go like bring him a meal. I want to say thank you.
Yeah.
Could never find him again. And Portland's like not that big. And this area of Portland isn't that big. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I had full body goosebumps when you were telling that. Just like that image of like you being there and like then this person just like appearing seemingly out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then saying the right thing. Like you were on the phone with your parents. Like,
yes.
You know, like almost like
Yes.
also tapping into that like specific detail.
Yes. It was weird. And that's the only thing he said, but it was like specific to that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And there's just one other quick one and then we'll go back to Nicole because honestly hers are more interesting. But like
that was, I mean, honestly though, that I'm gonna be like your mom, that was a guardian angel. Like
I think so.
The different ways that these spirits or even experiences can take care of us is like beautiful.
It was, I really felt protected and there's been a lot of moments like that. Because what's that saying? Like I'm not even religious really, but like God protects babies and fools. And I was a baby and a fool.
I have literally never heard that in my life, but I like it.
And I've had a lot of moments like that, just being naive and young and where I felt like something had my back, you know. And there was another really dumb moment where I was like, I had just gotten my driver's license. I was a teenager. I was enjoying the freedom of driving around my small town in Oregon.
That's that feeling.
Yeah, I was like, I'm free. And I went up into this hilly area to get a nice view. And I have a blistering case of ADHD and I didn't have as good of a handle on it back then as a teenager. Like my head was in the clouds all the time. And like while driving, I got severely distracted by a beautiful sunset. The sunset
she's
was so
noticing
pretty.
the beauty.
I could have just stopped my car and like pulled over, but no, I was like still driving and like looking at a sunset, not watching the road. And I like almost drive off a cliff.
No.
And what's really crazy is I heard two things. I heard a loud beep, like car horn, and I heard a voice go like, stop, 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 stop. I don't remember if it was male or female, but I hear a voice say, stop, stop, stop. And so I stop and I'm like, holy fuck, I almost killed myself because I see what I was about to do. And I like parked my car and I got out because I wanted to thank the person. I guess this is a theme. Yeah. I get out, I'm looking around. There's no cars parked on the street. There's no houses. There's I don't see anybody. And then I'm like looking up, so is there someone up in the hills that did that? Like, and listen, maybe again, I'm open to the possibility of it was a real person and I just didn't locate them, but like it felt like I was completely alone. And I was like, where the fuck did that come from? And I wanted to again thank the person
for watching over
for
you.
Watching my foolish ass.
There's no one around, like
nobody around. And that was another moment where I was like, was that just again divine intervention or did I just get lucky? I don't know.
Leah, I didn't think to ask you this earlier, but like, do you have like any family members or friends who like have passed over that you like think could be watching over you in this way?
I don't really know my extended family all that well. My grandparents did pass away when I was fairly young, but one person that I've thought about, my mom, her aunt was only like 4 or 5 years older than her. So they basically grew up like sisters/cousins, even though it was technically aunt and niece, but they were close in age.
Right. And
her name was Gail, and she met me when I was a baby, and she passed away from colon cancer very tragically. And she was pretty young. I think she was only in her early 40s. But she was one of my mom's favorite people. And I think someone she was like maybe the closest to, and just had and I know that like it was hard for her to lose her. And I just know that this was a woman that like really loved my mom and really looked out for my mom and was a really important, special person in her life. And so I don't know, for some reason, I've always wondered like, is it Gail? I don't know.
Gail, is that you?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just, it could be a grandparent. It could just be pure dumb luck. I really don't know, but I've thought about her. For some reason, she's popped in my mind a few times. I'm like, I wonder who knows Gail?
That's really interesting.
Because Gail really loves my mom. And so therefore
Yeah.
she probably cares about my mom's kids, you know?
I like that the common theme for like your encounters have been kind of just like this underlying support and guidance. Like it's really beautiful.
Oh, thanks. I do feel that a lot. Yeah. I'm lucky in that way.
I love
Yeah,
that.
thanks. Thanks.
That's incredible, Leah.
Well,
Those are some good stories.
nah, you got some. Nicole's got some juicy ones. I mean, that cowboy one alone.
I am reflecting now when you're like, Nicole, why did you say those were funny?
Or lighthearted.
And they're like they're spooky.
They're spooky, but I guess they are lighter comparatively to the other ones.
Yes. So I do have two more, and Leah and I we wanted to put these towards the end because they are more serious. And I guess I want to preface just like a little trigger warning, which is like if anyone has any sensitivities to like mention of suicide, I am going to be discussing that in my next story. So if that's going to feel uncomfortable in any way, maybe like fast forward a few minutes. But I do want to be really like honest about this and share this story because in a lot of ways, this was probably like the most impactful thing that's ever happened in my life in regards to the paranormal and or, you know, like spirits, etc.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'll begin like this. They're two little stories. The first of which is going to be more intense, but when I was in high school, my father committed suicide, and him and I had this extremely close bond. I always felt like my dad and I like were actually the same person.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like some people have that relationship with one of their parents where you just feel like you're like a clone of them, or like for me it was always my dad. Like I truly always felt like we were just like the exact same person, like cellularly, like we perceived the world the same way. We had like the biggest hearts anyway. Like we had this like very different bond. A bond that I haven't found, you know, with anyone else yet in this lifetime. But he did struggle with a lot of mental illness and a lot of addiction issues. And then unfortunately, I did lose him when I was 17 and in high school. But this story is going to be a little bit of, you know, about that. So I'm in high school. I'm a senior, you know, I'm prepping for the rest of my life. And I remember it's a Friday night. It's in October. Football season had just started, and I loved going to like high school football games.
Hell yeah.
And something that's important to know is at this time, my dad and I didn't fight a lot, but you know, towards the end, his addiction had gotten pretty bad. And it had led to just, you know, kind of some tumultuous moments in our relationship. So at that moment, we had gotten into one of our first fights, and we hadn't talked for quite a few weeks. And that was unusual for us. And, you know, it was making me very sad. So that's kind of what I need you to know. So it's a Friday night. It's in October. It's my senior year. It's like high school football game, and I go to the football game across town with a bunch of my friends. Like we have a really, really good time. And then I'm driving them back. I drop all of them off after the football game. You know, it's probably like midnight. You know, we like stayed around talking and stuff. I like, similar to Leah's story, I loved just driving myself around in my car, you know, like that feeling of like having a new driver's license. You like, your curfew is not for like maybe another hour. So you just have time to drive around and feel free. And so that was something I often did. So I dropped my friends off. It's like midnight on a Friday, and I'm driving around, I'm listening to some music, and all of a sudden I feel, you know what I was saying earlier when I'm in those hotels and it feels like someone else's thoughts and narrative and dialogue comes into my brain. And all of a sudden, like my thought, like it's not my thoughts, it's someone else's thoughts.
Yeah.
That happens. And this voice comes into my head, and it says, you need to go to your dad's house right now. And he lived, you know, we lived in Des Moines, Iowa, not a big town. So it took only 10 minutes to get anywhere. So, you know, his house was about 10 minutes away from where I was. And I remember just like, I didn't really know why. I was like, okay, like I just had this like, you know, that voice, that inclination to go to his house. So I did, and I didn't even think about it. I was just like, I think I'm just going to go drive by his house. And so I go, and I know that I'm not going to go in. You know, we've been in this fight. It's also the middle of the night. Like, I'm not going to like go in, obviously. But I kind of get there, and another thought pops in my head, and it's just like, just park in front of the house.
Yeah.
And just sit here. And again, like I'm 17 years old. I'm kind of a skeptic. I'm not super spiritual. Like I have every reason to doubt these inclinations, and I don't for some reason, because I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to sit here.
Yeah.
And I sit there, like the car is off. I'm sitting there in silence. And like, I don't know why I'm there. I don't know how long I'm going to be there, but I just know that I need to be there. And I remember looking up at his house and all the lights are off except for the light in his bedroom. And I remember being like, that's kind of weird. I wonder, like, is he awake right now? What's he doing? And I remember just kind of like looking at that light and like almost sending him love. Like, I was just like, I know we haven't talked, in my head, I'm like, I love you. Like, I hope whatever you're like, if you've woken up, if you can't sleep, I love you so much.
Oh.
And I have goosebumps right now, like thinking about this, just remembering what this felt like. And I think I sit there for maybe like 15 to 20 minutes, it's midnight, 15 to 20 minutes. And then out of nowhere, this urgency comes and like, I'm just like, okay, it's time to go. And like, all of a sudden my entire body knows that it's time to go and that my time there is over. And, the voice in my head is like, this is complete. Like, please go. And so I go home, I go to bed. I don't think about it.
Yeah.
So the next morning I wake up with police at my door.
Oh
and,
my God.
my mom and I live alone at that time. And the police came and they told us that my dad had taken his own life the night before. And, that then ensues like, one of the worst days of my life, having to like talk to the police and like, go over to the house and like help with figuring out what happened and everything. But, as we began to talk more to the police, they told me that the time that he had taken his life was at midnight.
Midnight, when you were outside.
It was at that exact time that, for whatever reason, I had that desire, that I had received that message so clearly. Like, and it was like, I didn't feel like I even had a choice.
Wow.
It was like, this is a command. Like, this is something you must do. I haven't talked about this that much. It was kind of just something I knew immediately within me. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
That was the exact time that I, for whatever reason, was called to go sit there outside of his house and
just kind of be with him in that moment, in a sense.
That's exactly what it felt like too. And
you were sending him love in that moment.
I was sending him love, and it just, to this day, like, I think so many people who've experienced suicide of someone that they love, like, one of the hardest things is not having closure. And I think especially like, something I've always grappled with is like, him and I were in a fight, and like, I'm not a person who like fights with people. I do not like conflict. I will do anything to resolve conflict. I want there to only be love. So this is like, being in a fight with someone was not normal for me and not something that I'm ever that comfortable with.
Yeah.
And so I think, if you've ever been in that experience, how that can even add more complexity to losing somebody tragically. But I feel like in a way, like, whatever guided me there to be with him in his last moments when he felt so alone, and have like, like the last emotion that I can feel, sending to him while he was still here is love. And I think in so many ways, like, I'm just like really grateful for that. And like, similar to like your stories, like, was it a guardian angel? Was it him? Like, I don't know what it was, but like, that was like, to this day, one of like the most earth-shattering and deeply profound moments that I cannot explain. My second portion of this story happens, I think it's maybe 2 years later, and it's very similar. So I think it's a great one to kind of end on, and kind of, like, gives soothe everyone. Thank you also for listening to that. It's like emotional and kind of sad, but
thank you for sharing it.
Thanks for listening.
We'll share some resources too for
absolutely.
suicide prevention. Yeah.
Absolutely. So 2 years later, he's been gone for 2 years. We sold the house that, his house, like, there was a new family living in it. I think they'd been living in there, like, for 2 years, like,
wow.
And at that point, I was away at college, like, had a life, like, all the things. And I remember I came back for Christmas, like, came back to my hometown in Iowa. Of course, anytime you're back in your hometown, you're visiting your family members, you're seeing your friends and stuff. And so, I'm in my car one night, late at night again. I just love going on nighttime drives and driving around by myself, listening to some music, same old story. I get that thought again in my head, and it feels the exact same way, the way that I explained it in the previous story, and even, the ones prior, just like, it feels like someone else's dialogue or narrative has been implanted into your brain or your psyche. And that voice says, go visit your dad's house right now.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do it. I've kind of learning to trust that voice in some regard, or to at least always acknowledge it. And so, I'm alone in my car. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go drive by my dad's house. It'll be nice to do a drive-by, see if the new family's settling in well. And the thing I need you to know before I tell you the rest of the story now is that one thing that was like weirdly a very big part of my dad and I's relationship is that like we would hang out in his garage a lot because it was like a workshop, and like he would teach me how to build stuff.
Oh,
Which is like very cute, and like I love that.
I love that.
But specifically one thing that like was a really big project for us was that we made these shelves together.
Oh.
And I remember specifically like we spent the entire summer making these shelves, and he was teaching me how to build them, and we made these shelves, and I was really proud of them. And it was like this thing that we did together was that we made these shelves for the garage. And I also want to say that the garage is actually where he did take his life. So like the garage is this like very important and charged zone for me.
Yeah.
And I hadn't been in the garage, since we lost him. And so, I'm driving around, it's Christmas break. I get that signal in my brain, like, go drive by your dad's house. And I say, okay, I'm gonna go do it. Check out what it looks like, whatever. So I get there again. It's like midnight. It's like the middle of the night. Like
again,
like I'm just like a night owl. And I get there and I'm like, kind of just like trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, do I just like park and look at it for a second? What do I do? And the voice tells me, go drive by the garage. And like the garage is like behind the house. It's on this private cul-de-sac that only like the people who live there can kind of go. It's not like a main road. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll drive back in the cul-de-sac and kind of just do a loop by the garage.
Yeah.
So I pull back, I go into the cul-de-sac. I'm coming up on the garage. And let me just reiterate, a family had been living there like for 2 years. They'd fully moved in. They've been there. I'm coming up on the garage and I noticed that the garage door is open.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night. The garage door, and I mean like the one that you drive into, like the huge garage door. It is just hanging open in the middle of the night.
Whoa.
All the lights in the house are off. The garage door is hanging open. All the lights are on in the garage. And I'm like, that's really weird. Is the family in there? Maybe he's up late. The new dad is up late working. Who knows? I pull around that. I kid you not. That garage is completely empty. There is not one remnant of that new family in that garage, even though like they are obviously in the house. You can see that their stuff is in the house. The garage is completely empty. The only thing in that garage is the shelf that my dad and I built together. It's in the dead center of the garage.
What?
All the lights are on. I pull up. I immediately see it. I immediately get full body chills. I burst into tears, and on the radio at that exact moment, this song that was my dad and I's song comes on the radio. It's like this Dave Matthews song.
God.
I can't explain it.
What? So all the lights in the house are off.
Yeah,
it's
like
the middle of the night.
Middle of the night.
The garage is wide open. All the lights in the garage are on.
Yes.
And that family put nothing in the garage.
Nothing. No cars, no basketballs, no like cleats. Like there's nothing.
Just a shelf that you and your dad built together is still in there.
In the dead center.
In the dead center. Like it was on display.
Exactly. In the dead center, not against the wall, like in the dead center of the garage, our shelf.
Holy shit. And then your song comes on the
and
radio?
Then the song You and I by Dave Matthews, which is like not even one of the most popular songs. Like it's kind of odd that it's on the radio, comes on the freaking radio, and it just all happens all like within a few seconds. And I mean, it's one of those things where it's like there's probably people out there who will think that I'm exaggerating, and I think I've attempted to tell some people in my life this story, and I don't know if they fully believe me, but
they can suck it. Sorry.
They can suck it.
Sorry.
It's one of those things where like, I know without a shadow of a doubt, that's exactly how it happened. And I remember how that moment made me feel, where I was just like, that is a sign from my dad.
These are the moments where I'm just like, I'm sorry, that's not coincidence. Like that's when the skeptic of me kind of leaves the building a little bit. Like the journalism part of my brain kind of steps out a bit. And I'm just like, how do you explain that?
I don't know if there is a way. Like, like maybe
like that was your dad just saying, hey, thinking of you.
Exactly. And, I think a question that comes up a lot of times when, someone's lost someone close to them is like, oh, have they ever communicated to you? Like, et cetera, et cetera. And like this instance with the garage was like the first time that I had ever, kind of the first and only time I'd ever experienced any type of like what I consider communication from him. Yeah. And so it felt really impactful and complete. And I left that experience being like, I don't know if I ever, wow. I'm not left needing more communication from him.
Really?
Because that was so powerful. I mean, I think I'm open to it, but like that was it. And it was enough, and it was like beautiful, and like it meant so much to me.
It's beautiful. Do you think it gave you, I know there probably is no true closure with any death and especially a suicide, but like, do you think that moment gave you a little bit of that or not really?
It did give me closure, especially it in concert with the previous story I told. I feel like, there's no perfect way to heal or find closure from a suicide, but like those two experiences, they did it for me. Like it is enough.
Yeah.
The night, the experience that happened the night of was definitely more sad. But the feelings that I got from the incident with the garage and Dave Matthews, it was only happy. Like kind of
Yeah.
like your stories, you're like, it wasn't a scary presence. It just felt like 100% pure support,
Hmm.
and kind of just like a gentle reminder, like I'm here.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that. What do you think? Do you think these moments you've had have altered your view on life and death at all?
that's a good question, and that is one that you and I have been thinking about a lot, and kind of
And asking the other guests?
especially like asking other guests, because I think it's such an important question to think about. To be honest, so many people that we've been chatting with who have these paranormal experiences or whatever, I hear a lot of them say that they've made them less afraid of death. And I wish I could say the same. Like at
Mm.
this point, I'm still someone who's very afraid of death, especially
Yeah.
an untimely one. Like
Wow.
I still feel a lot of fear or sadness about potentially like thinking about people leaving before they're ready. Like that's still something that fills me with a lot of emotion, and I'm very scared of that. And I always hope that whenever my time is, I'm prepared and it's not a shock to anyone.
Yeah.
But as it pertains to life, I think I realize that no matter what happens, like at the end of the day, like everything is rooted in love. Like
Mm.
like when everything else is stripped away, it is only love.
Yeah.
It's not ideal that my dad and I were in a fight when he left, and obviously someone, taking their own life is it's tragedy.
Yeah.
But like these quiet reminders, or these signs that there's something else out there, it fills me with love, and that we keep on existing and we keep on connecting, even if the format changes, even when it is kind of sinister, like the cowboy.
Yeah.
Like even though it was scary, it also, like, the curiosity, the spectacle of it all filled me with love, because I was just
Mm.
like, this existence is infinite and complicated
Yeah.
and magical.
Yeah. I love that view.
I want to ask you the same
Um,
thing though. Like, how did your experiences change? Like, how did it
hmm.
impact how you see life, and like, how do you feel about death?
I've always kind of felt, and this is not a diss on anyone in my life, but I've just always felt this deep loneliness.
Yeah.
And actually I love being alone. That's the ironic part, is I'm super introverted. I'm very good in my own company. I can be alone for probably too long. I have reclusive tendencies as much as I love my friends, which I do, but that's how I recharge. That's how I process information. I'm kind of, I mean, this is such a cheesy cliche like term, but I'm a bit of a lone wolf. I'm a bit of a lone wolf. And a part of me feels like even with love and support in your life, you are alone. Like I feel very alone. And I don't even know if that's necessarily a sad feeling. It's just reality for me. And the moments that I had were just little reminders that like, you're not really alone. Like there is someone there.
Yeah.
And I find great comfort in that, because it's a lot of pressure to feel like you're alone and solely relying on yourself.
Absolutely.
And I'm not afraid of death. And that's not a flex. It's called depression. Have you heard of it? And I've struggled with, I mean, I make jokes that like, can't wait for death. That's fucked up. I know. But I'm learning to appreciate life more and really enjoy my time here and not be in such a rush. But like, I've always kind of thought, well, if it happens, it happens. And when it happens, it happens, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I haven't had like a big fear of it, but that's changed because I'm 3 months pregnant. And for the first time in my life, and by the time this comes out, I'll probably be 5 or 6 months. More months pregnant. And for the first time in my life, I'm really like, oh, I gotta stick around. Like and now I'm like more so afraid of death than ever before, because it matters more for me to be here for someone.
The context of living has changed.
Yeah, I'm not going to put that pressure on the kid, of course, and be like, you're the reason mommy's here. I'm not going to do that. But like, that's like an insane amount of pressure. Like your only job is to be a kid and follow your bliss or whatever. But yeah, so I don't know if that answered the question, but feeling less alone and finding a new appreciation for life in those moments, and just with this personal journey that I'm on, if that answers the question. I don't know.
That's a beautiful answer. And I really love that, through exploring the paranormal and these ghost stories, it can be funny, it can be weird, but also I think at the end it does lead you to this different understanding, or this depth to understanding what our existence is about, and also what the end of our existence will be about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. This has been Ghost Girls.
This has been Ghost Girls,
a paranormal podcast where the paranormally blonde talk about paranormal activities. You're just a paranormal girls. We came up with a lot of puns.
We did, and if you choose to watch this season, which I hope you do, because we're pouring a lot of love into it.
We are.
You might hear some more of our funny paranormal puns
with her, because we got more of them. But yeah, thank you for being with us. A podcast where, as Nicole brilliantly puts it, we talk more about death to learn more about life. Stay curious.
Until next time.
Which I
hope there will be a next time, dear listeners. Keep tuning in.
Please tune in. Please. And if you like the theme song, it's going to be on Spotify. I wrote it. I sang on it. And my friend Barrett Wilson, shout out, produced it and played all the instruments.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Leah, she is an amazing songstress and singer. I don't know if you mentioned that in your intro.
I didn't. I kind of forget about it, but I retired from music and then I came back just to do this theme song.
You're incredible. Oh, and I also want to say our logo is made by my dear friends Teresa and Muyo at Ramage Creative Co. And we're just so grateful for the amazing branding and logo that they created for us.
So good. They really knocked it out of the park. So thank you guys. And you should hire them for all your graphic design needs.
Hire them. Ramage Creative Co.
That's right.
Until next time. Stay curious.
Bye.
Footsteps fading down the hall, paintings moving on my wall, chills that wrap around my spine, trapped between the threads of time.